Oh, how to find silence in the world.
Being spotted in the color of skin. Why? I take care of San Francisco while waiting for the bus to Iowa. They say racial prejudice is strong.
Negros and whites are not kawawa, and because of this, they will revolt. I shiver and shiver from fear and hunger because I just landed from Tokyo.
A Negro came into the station, naka-African hairdo. He holds a small whip. It's scary to look, so I did not look at him. Kumakalansing.
The metal on the strings of his shoes, and he shouts,
"These rockers!"
Smiled, showing white teeth. Looked at me. Maybe he laughed at what he saw.
A tiny dayuhan, dark and from some lupalog. Upside down, my insides went in fright and pulled a cigarette, so the redness of my face
wouldn't show. I nahalata that the whites there too were quiet, so quiet, unable to speak in front of that Negro. Only when he left, returned.
The normalcy in the station. Others read again. Neighbors gossiped again. Laughter, the janitor swept again. After a while, that Negro passed again.
Two white Americans on each arm. Blonde, their beauty with no equal. The janitor stopped sweeping. I thought, so, this is racial prejudice.
Oh, how to find silence in the world.
As I've read Cirilo Bautista's poetry, it illustrates the concern and issues of racism. Since then, racism has always been a problem. What made me admire this poem is that it serves as an eye-opener to everyone, that racism manifests itself in a variety of ways. Although there are no explicit depiction of violent racism in this poem, we can still observe how bad racism was based on the actions and reactions of the people in the train station when a Negro arrives at the station. How can we seek peace in this society if we are immediately judged because of our different race? Individual differences made us unique. But let us not be divided by this. Instead, let us put this into good use for the greater good of our world.
So the poem Oh How to Find Silence in the World by Cirilo Bautista highlights the problem and issue of racism, in which people believe and act as if they are better than the others or that other races are inferior to their own. So the protagonists of the poem were the Negros and the white, which shows that the poem is all about racism. So it demonstrates how prejudice divides all ethnic groupings. My realization while reading the poem is that racial prejudice is still prevalent nowadays. Other people continue to believe that each race has its own stereotyping. That is why they discriminate other races and make fun of them because of their ethnicity. So for me, this poem helps all of us to be educated that prejudice really exists in the world. And we must know that words are the most deadly weapon coming from a person, and nowadays it has been used in a wrong way. Words are like bullets. We cannot avoid them, and it causes destruction and damages to people if we use it wrongly. So as a Filipino, we must know that racial prejudice is wrong, and we must put an end to it so that the world we live in can become a safer and more comfortable environment for ourselves and to the future generation.
I do love poems. Like, it feels so surreal, even if you are not the one expressing it. And even if it is just a work of a person. And this poem of Cirilo Bautista is so compelling that it stressed the thought of racial injustice. He maybe want us to see something in our surrounding that racial prejudice is just around, even in a bus station. We actually can see it everywhere, not just in other countries but here in the Philippines too. Anan once says that we may differ in religions and languages, or may have different color of skin, but we all belong to one human race.
Cirilo Bautista's poem of How to Find Silence in the World is a metaphorical poetry piece that looks at how the two races, white and black, are treated subjectively. This poem serves as a reminder to people about the ongoing denigration of people based on their ethnicity. It's also been established that racial discrimination is still prevalent today. Others continue to believe that each race has its own preconceptions and they discriminate against and mock them. As others have stated, racial prejudice is unavoidable since people are free to say something they wanted to say. Words are a person's most lethal weapon, and words are bullets that can't be avoided no matter how hard you try. And they've caused a lot of damage and disaster to those who were targeted. This is a well-known instance of discrimination. This is unethical and we must put an end to it so that the world can become a safer place and more comfortable environment for ourselves and future generations.
Undeniably, in the present time, diversity amongst races is evident. However, with that corresponding fact, racial discrimination is also a trend and has been considered as one of the society's diseases apart from the poverty and other societal issues. Hence, it does not just refer to any word or verbiage discrimination thrown, but it also entails the treatment given from one race to another, claiming that they are better and superior to any other race, which we can all agree is wrong.
The poem talks about social issues, specifically racism. It is in our knowledge that racism, even before, exists up until now. The poem vividly tells the reader how white people prejudice the Negro. Why did it happen? White people, or should I say Americans, think that they are superior among other nationalities or races, and they consider people with different skin colors as inferior to them. In fact, people of black skin color are treated lesser than the other race. According to history, black people were treated slaves and they're given small opportunities to become a part of society. Through this, I would like to remind all of us that everyone matters regardless of race, social status, religion, gender identity, and much more. We must never forget the essence of love and respect, and we should embrace the beauty of diversity.
The poem highlights the issue and problem about racism, in which people believe that they are better than others, in which people believe and act as if they are much capable than other individuals. So this common problem and societal issue already existed from the past up until today. So it is really not a good practice to follow, to discriminate other individuals with their skin color, their physical appearance, or with their beliefs. We all have differences and we have different perspective in life.
Racism has always been our world's greatest problem that it's hard to settle even through laws or any forms of legal actions. Even children can be racist once they start becoming conscious in their surroundings. In the poem of Cirilo Bautista, really portrays how racism could be done in any forms or ways and could be happen at any places. Negros are beautiful and unique. We all are. We just need to appreciate and respect each differences.
This literary piece written by Cirilo Bautista served as a tool for every person to realize the importance of respect and the worst effects of racial prejudice, and so it must be eradicated. It is also a gateway for us readers to acquire values and reflect on this crucial issue, leading us to generate the best solution or the best way to help. We might not get the instant result that we wanted, but through these literary pieces, people will get to understand and open their eyes to the truth that this is not just a petty thing to ignore. Instead, we should take this seriously in order to make a change. And to make a change means to start on how we think and how we treat other people.